Don't start recording that. Amanda's there.
Up here.
I'd like to call this Planning Economic Development Committee meeting to order this 16th day of August 2022. It's about 5 o'clock on the dot. And first up on our agenda, we have a moment of silence. Please join me. Thank you. I now call on our county chaplain, Mr. David Root, to please deliver our invocation.
Pray with me if you'd like to. Father, thank you for this additional opportunity to get together for a new set of issues for planning, economic development, things that really reach into and touch all of the citizens, all of the citizenry. Pray that you give us plans. Your word says, without a vision, the people perish. So give counsel, give this committee, staff, a vision that is consistent with your wisdom and your will. Pray that would happen during this meeting, and I pray in your name. Amen.
Mr. Davis, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Please stand. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have the approval of minutes for March 15th, 2022, regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
Any changes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, first up on our discussion items, we have a planning and code enforcement update from Mr. James Coley, our planning and zoning director.
Thank you guys for having us this afternoon. Just want to give you kind of a brief update about some of the things that are going on since our last meeting in March. And to begin, just to reiterate some of the things that our property management code does and doesn't cover. That list is there, so those are things that are not enforceable by IPMC that code enforcement isn't doing. So property line disputes, suspicion of improper septic installation, illegal activity, animal complaints, noise complaints, covenants and restrictions, and anything that's within one of the incorporated areas of the county. Things that we do enforce that are not under IPMC, so setback compliance in any of the particular zonings in the county, silt fence installation and maintenance around the lake overlay, and that vegetative buffer around the lakes. The Sheriff's Department is an integral part of code enforcement right now, so they are going out with our code enforcement officer 2 to 4 times a month. They are doing the enforcement with citizens and issuing the trespass notices, and are actually really helping to provide a safe environment for our code enforcement officer to work. So we were very appreciative to the Sheriff's Department, and it's just critical that we have them with him when he's out in some of these locations. And just to remind you guys what that process is, so when a code complaint comes into the planning office, it's filed, uploaded into our online system. The code enforcement officer will make an initial visit, determine whether or not there are any violations, and then he will give them notice. So that notice will be certified mailed to the property owner. If there's no response, then that property would be placarded, and then we'll continue to move forward to get in contact with the property owner. They will be given an opportunity to make corrections to whatever that violation is. That process will be monitored as it goes on, so we can set milestones for them. They need to do a certain percentage at a certain amount of time. And then finally, if there is no progress after every effort's been made to reach them, given every opportunity to make those corrections, then there would be a summons issued. The average case time is right now about 6 months from opening to closing. We've had 6 new cases that have been closed since last March. but 123 cases that have been closed since last June. So right now, we are kind of catching back up with a lot of those things. 10 additional structures have been placarded in the last couple of months. And since March, when we last met, 60 new cases, so right now it's 144 total open cases in the county. Moving and transitioning into our plat reviews for the year. This is last several years, so going back to 2015, you can see the plat reviews that were done. Last year, on August 2nd, we had done 315 plat reviews. This was 311 early last week, so last Monday. I'm not sure what day that was, but that is within a reasonable approximation of last year, pretty comparable. So we are basically on par to probably hit that number again if things continue the way they did over the last 12 months. And our subdivision applications, you can see, last year was a big year for us. Last year, August 10th was when our 18th subdivision application came in. We are at 15 right now, so we are in that ballpark again. I can tell you that the total acreage for the subdivisions that we have this year is probably a little bigger than last year already, with even having fewer total applications. And finally, this is a map that we did for the Planning Commission that I thought you guys might find useful. This is legal residents and non-legal residents for new addresses that have been issued since 2017. And this does include an update as of August, last week sometime, for 2020. The big caveat on that is there are about 400 addresses that are in just two multifamily developments, and that's Newry Mill and the Pierce Student Housing Development. So that's 400 of those 800 total. And happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Thank you, Mr. Coley. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Coley?
When you jump back to the plat reviews slide, so in looking at that, especially the jump from 19 to 2020, as you see, what do you feel like from your experience is causing what we're seeing on that?
There's a tremendous amount of land transactions that are happening. So when somebody buys a piece of property and goes to record it, they would probably like to have a new survey done. I think it's a good recommendation for people to have a survey done when you buy property. If they get it recorded, it's gonna have a plat review. So even if it's a already existing plat, it can be re-reviewed, so it's gonna change the name, so that deed. So I think that's indicative of having a tremendous amount of property sales over the last 30 years.
Because everything like that's not always reviewed unless the things that you're speaking of comes across correct.
Yeah, so there are reviews that are exempt. So if
Yeah.
it's over 5 acres, it would be exempt from review. If there is a resurvey, it's given to us as information, so we see it, so that is a plat review, but it's not charged to the individual.
Right.
One of the things that I'm concerned about is the density around the lake overlay, Lake Huey. So I'm gonna be looking at that, and I may be coming back on that.
Yeah, so the overlay district does have some density requirements that are in there with the lake residential and the residential zoning districts.
I'm gonna be taking a look at that.
Sure, absolutely.
Any other questions? And I appreciate all your hard work on those, bringing that information to us. And we'll keep moving forward. Thank you, Mr. Coley.
Thank you, guys.
All right, next up, we have our economic development update. Mr. James Gilbert, who is the director of the Oconee Economic Alliance. It says here Economic Development Director, so I'll give you both titles, Mr. Gilbert. You can correct me on which one is actually accurate.
Well, I think there's actually two titles. So there is the Department of Economic Development, which I serve as director, and then there is the Public-Private Partnership for the Economic Alliance, which is the president. So
Right.
you're correct on both fronts.
Thank you.
Thank you. glad to be here. I know that this committee is something, I don't think we've had a presentation to the committee this year based on the changes going on with the organization. So this is our first report to you all, and very excited to be here tonight. I do want to introduce, I have two team members with me from Oconee Economic Alliance. I have Tyler James, who is our existing industry and project manager, and I have our new marketing and office manager, Jacob Queen. As I mentioned just a few seconds ago, there's been a lot of change in the Department of Economic Development and in the Oconee Economic Alliance that we've seen. We lost our president of OEA and director back in the first part of the year. And so you went out, had a search, and brought me in, and I'm thankful that this county has made that decision to bring me on board. I couldn't be more excited to be in a community such as Oconee County and what we're doing here. So there's so many great things going on. It's a pleasure to be here. The project activity we have seen in 2022 is extremely strong. We currently have 13 active projects ongoing. We started out through the year, we've had 47 leads. So let me explain to you what a lead and what a project is. A lead is when we have an inquiry that is made. It may come from the South County Department of Commerce. It could come from the Upstate Alliance. It may come from a site consultant. They contact our office and they say, we have an interest in your community. That's a lead. We respond to it. Once that company or that consultant has physically visited our community, or we've engaged them, say, through a Zoom meeting, then it becomes a project. So that's the difference between a lead and a project. So to date, first quarter of the year, we had 17 leads. For the second quarter, we had 19, and we're halfway through the third quarter, and we have 11. So we're on track to surpass the first and second quarter at this rate. And when you think about the third quarter, that's June, July, and August. That's the summer months. So that's, July, August, September. That's the summer months. So it's vacation time for a lot of businesses and individuals. So it's a slower time, yet we're seeing activity that is on a pace to be greater than the first half of this year. So again, we're excited to see that. Of those 47 leads, we responded to 34 of those. The 13 that we could not respond to were ones that were looking for existing buildings. And as you may know, we have no existing industrial buildings available in the county, but we do have land. So when it's an inquiry for a build-to-suit type of project, new construction, in most cases, we're able to accommodate those projects and be able to respond. Out of those 34 leads, we converted 6 to projects, and those projects have visited Oconee County multiple times. We have some really strong active projects right now that have an interest in our community. They're also looking at other locations within the state and also multiple states, so they're very competitive projects. But these are projects that, in terms of job creation and investment, are significant. And when you look at where these projects are the sites that are being reviewed, there are really 2 sites that jump out: Oconee Industry and Technology Park and Golden Corner Commerce Park. We have multiple projects looking at Golden Corner Commerce Park right now. So we're excited again to see that activity level, and we're optimistic that within the next 6 to 12 months, we'll have some news of new companies that have made a commitment to come to Oconee County. We do have we've had 2 groundbreakings since June of this year. We had a groundbreaking for Curtech, which occurred on June 28th, and we actually have the second groundbreaking, as you know, coming up next week. So that will be on the 23rd of August, and that is for Ruby Slipper, and so we hope to see you all there for that. That's going to be a great day for the county. We also have created a business retention and expansion program. One of the roles that we changed for Tyler James was to move him from just being project manager to being responsible for existing industry, which includes business retention and expansion. And since June 1st, I started here May 31st, And for me, making existing industry our top priority was extremely important. You know, the new companies coming in grab a lot of the headlines, but the backbone of this economy here is our existing businesses, and they come first. They're our first priority. So we try to go and reach out to them and make sure their needs are being met. We've met with 7 companies since June 1st, and Tyler is on the phone and emails burning it up to try to get more appointments and visits with existing industry. Again, if you don't have a strong existing industry and you don't take care of them first, you're not going to be successful with recruiting new companies to the county. On operations and projects, we have a lot of things going on that front. Again, staff changes here, bringing Jacob on board. He started last week. That was his first week. He has really hit the ground running in terms of a lot of marketing efforts and operations and getting us better organized. So he's been a great addition to the team. And Tyler, with his expanded role, has done a fantastic job of reaching out to our existing companies, but also still handling inquiries that we're getting from Commerce and from the Upstate Alliance. On industrial product development, there's 2 things that I always say are keys to a successful community: workforce and having product. You need to have industrial product. And this county has done a very good job of putting the pieces in place to have product. We've bought land. We've begun to develop that land. You saw what happened with the Oconee Industry and Technology Park by clearing and grading that property. We've put the infrastructure in. Look at Golden Corner Commerce Park. That is the site that is drawing the most interest right now, but it has some issues, as you all know. We've fortunately gotten sewer down there, but as far as the site in terms of appearance and readiness, it still has a ways to go. So one of the things that we did was in June, we applied and submitted to the South Carolina Department of Commerce a request for site enhancement money, as well as additional funds to clear, grade, and make pad ready that property. And we've had some meetings with Commerce and with our partners, and we're excited to see that we believe we'll be able to do the things that are needed at that park in a very short time frame. And we'll be coming back to council to present that at the September meeting.
September 7th.
Yeah, at the September 7th meeting.
6th.
Right. So you'll be getting some information on that in the next week or 2. Workforce development, we have a couple of events going on. We are sponsors of the 2022 Oconee County Job Fair that will be here in Seneca. There are over 30 businesses participating with 150 jobs that are available. And now the effort is to try to get those workers to potential employees to attend. So we're going to be putting that out on social media, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and promoting that with the radio stations. So again, I would say the employers have really stepped forward to come out and show these are great companies. Some of our best companies are participating. Now it's getting potential job seekers to the event, and we'll be doing that over the next 2 weeks. That job fair is on August the 30th in Seneca. We also are getting some new videos done to promote workforce development, to promote the county as a place for business, and to also profile some of our existing industries. So we're working with Total Video on that. That's something that should be completed in the next 3 months. Again, social media and having the presence out there, that's something Jacob is going to be doing a lot of with Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We are appearing on the radio station for Coffee Time in Seneca once a month, and so we'll be doing that. We were supposed to do that next Tuesday, but with the groundbreaking, we'll be doing that probably the following week. But it's a great opportunity to tell the community exactly what is going on in economic development and the work that's being done by the county. Also, we have a new tagline that we've started to push out for promoting the Oconee County as a location for business. The tagline is top shelf for business. We're sitting at the top part of the state, and this is a top shelf location. So we think we're one of the best locations you can have in the state in the southeast, so we're top shelf. The other item I want to talk about is we have our OEA board meeting this Friday, and we're going to talk about a strategic plan update. I think the last plan was the 2013 strategic plan. We haven't done one. Those plans need to be updated every 5 years at the most, and so we haven't done one. And it's really important to be able to do that, to provide that blueprint that we want moving forward. So that's where we are. A lot of great things happening, I believe, with the county and economic development. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Jamie, and welcome aboard. Sorry, I should have said that at the beginning. I couldn't remember if this was the first meeting you've been to, but for planning economic development, but we certainly welcome you to the team, and thank you for joining Oconee County. And also welcome to Jacob, and of course, we all know Tyler, so thanks for sticking around, Tyler. I think the best days for Oconee County are ahead, and we certainly value your experience and helping mentor our team, and I mean, Jamie's got, how many years have you been in the economic development?
Way too long, 30 plus now.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. I wouldn't want to do anything else. And so that was why Oconee County, when this job opened up, it was so important for me to get here. This was a community I'd always looked at and admired and wanted to be in, because the potential here is so unlimited. And just, again, appreciate you offering me this opportunity. And we are going to do great things. And we're starting to see that the last couple of months.
Absolutely. Any questions or comments from the committee?
Again, I echo what he says, you and your staff, the energy that y'all brought forth is definitely going to pay well dividends for all of you and Oconee County. You know, some of the things that you've brought up, and I had some notes that and I guess we probably don't need a motion, but maybe we do. I just want to bring that up to explore site enhancement, grading options, and spec building sites to bring. Is it fine if I mean, if we make a motion, because I know it's coming to council anyway, but from a standpoint on this, we've talked about it, and when you go out there to 59 and look, you know, to me, it's a very difficult site to see where it's at, and if you drive off, you may get a vehicle stuck somewhere, so we can be very cautious when we're out there looking at the property. So just something that I would, if the chairman's okay, to make that motion to explore site enhancement and grading options of existing industry park and explore spec building sites.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. So I guess that formalizes the next council meeting for the request from the committee. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, I'm just looking for great things to come, and we appreciate you coming to Oconee County.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Jamie. I think that, have anything else on this agenda? It's about 5:25. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. We're stand adjourned. Thank you.